Now, if you've ever been driving through East Riverside, there's a piece of history hidden right out in the open. It may not be apparent to many, but it speaks to the rich history of Chinese Canadians here in Windsor. And it serves as a reminder of a difficult and painful past. The CBC's Sanjay Maru is here with more live in studio. So Sanjay, what makes this year so important for Chinese Canadians in Windsor?
Well, Jason, this year marks the 100th anniversary since the first Chinese organization was born. The Windsor Chinese Benevolent Association started in 1918 as a way to maintain social connections, but also to reflect on the past. Now, the history of discrimination against Chinese Canadians is well documented. The Chinese Exclusion Act and the head tax are just a few examples of the hardships they faced. But in 1996, one member from the group did something to make sure the history of his people is not forgotten. It may look like your typical street, but its name evokes an important piece of history for Chinese Canadians in Windsor. Hong Court sits in East Riverside and got its name in 1996 after James Hong presented a petition to City Council.
In my letter, I says, I've noticed all the streets are named after either the French Canadians or the English Canadians. All the names in Windsor didn't reflect the multicultural nature, I think I said in the letter.
The Hongs are one of the first Chinese families to arrive in Windsor. With 100 years having passed since that time, James's 90-year-old mother remembers when she stepped onto Canadian soil for the first time.
I get that there's a different strange place, has snow, I never seen before, cold, but I was happy to be in Canada.
Since then, the Chinese population has grown to become one of Windsor's biggest, leading to the success of many Chinese-owned businesses. The multi-food supermarket was brought to Windsor after its owner noticed a change in Windsor's ethnic population.
Now I think it's better. In this couple of years, I can see it's growing up. It's Indian people and Arabic people, yeah, and some local people.
For many Chinese families in Windsor, this year is about reflecting on the past. The errors of the head tax cannot be erased, and discrimination still runs through the minds of Chinese people today. But nevertheless, Windsor is a place they can call home. And that street sign, it still stands as a reminder of the long road traveled by Windsor's Chinese community.
Now, Sanjay, you mentioned off the top the Windsor Chinese Benevolent Association. So is there anything that they're doing to commemorate this 100th anniversary?
Well, Jason, in March, they hosted a gala where they received a Legacy of Community Leadership Award from the provincial government. And this Sunday, they are organizing their annual cemetery visits. That's at 11:45 in the morning. It's to honor their Chinese ancestors. They'll be bringing offerings to deceased loved ones who face discrimination throughout their lives.
Thank you so much, Sanjay, for bringing us this story. The CBC's Sanjay Maru reporting live in studio tonight.